Добре дошли в спортната джунгла с Оги Георгиев.
We are the show. We fighters are the show. Not the UFC, not nobody. We make the show. We have to be very well recognized, for that, paid by that. And I can't complain, of my career, like I said, I had. But for you to imagine, that right now I make more money than I did, my last fight.
Really?
So,
Wow.
so yeah, it shows you what kind of type of business they are doing over there.
Жуниор Дос Сантос, бившият шампион на UFC в тежка категория и бъдещ съперник на Кубрат Пулев Кобрата, е следващият специален гост в спортната джунгла. Двубоят ще се проведе на 26 февруари, а в България той ще бъде излъчван пряко по стриминг платформата Fight. Ще имате възможност да спечелите няколко безплатни ваучера, с които може да гледате предстоящата битка, благодарение на нашето партньорство с Fight. Трябва да отговорите на въпроси, а през тази седмица и за това видео първият въпрос е следният. На каква възраст Жуниор Дос Сантос започва да се занимава с бокс? Очаквам вашите отговори отдолу. Освен това, за да участвате в играта, трябва да последвате профила на спортната джунгла в Instagram и да споделите в Facebook поста, с който се обявява играта там. Жуниор Дос Сантос ще ни разкаже за отношението на UFC към бойците. Той ще сподели каква е разликата в заплащането между Траяд Комбат и UFC. Освен това, бразилецът ще разкрие своето мнение за потенциала на Благой Иванов Багата и дали българинът може да достигне до матч за титлата на UFC в тежка категория. Как мислите? Дали Жуниор Дос Сантос ще създаде повече проблеми на Кубрат Пулев в сравнение с Франк Мир? Очаквам да чуя вашето мнение отдолу в коментарите. Ако не сте го направили, абонирайте се за нашия канал Спортната джунгла, натиснете камбанката, за да получавате известия. Приятно гледане! One of the legends of the fight sports, thank you so much for your time and huge appreciation for the interview by the Jungle of Sports YouTube channel and by the Bulgarian fight fans.
My pleasure to be here talking with you guys.
Thanks. When was the first time when you were approached to participate in Trayad Combat? There were rumors that you will be Kubrat Pulev's opponent for his first fight in Trayad Combat before Frank Mir agreeing to fight him.
Well, yeah, we had some talking, about that, about this first show, the first Trayad show back in the day. But for some reason, I think time of training, I wasn't really training at that time or something like that. For some reason, it wasn't possible to happen. But as soon as I was able to watch the show, for the first time when Kubrat Pulев fought Frank Mir, man, that was a great show with great fights. And I told myself, man, we gotta be part of it. So yeah, let's see when it's gonna be the next edition of it. And let's see if we can be there.
How much time you need to check the rules and what was your initial reaction? Triangular ring, 2-minute rounds, and rules that are most in favor of boxers.
In the new world, I was always known as a boxing guy. Of course, I'm not on a pure boxing. I'm not gonna be the same level of these guys. But so I was looking after I came out of the UFC. I was looking for another type of opportunity. I was always willing to fight, to have a boxing fight. But then we saw this. The trailer came with the Trayad, this Trayad thing, and I said, man, that's a perfect transition for me, actually. And then I saw the rинга, which is a triangle, and with the very like with the corners over there, and things like that, and the rules, it's more like more boxing, but with clinches as well. So I said, man, if I gotta do this, it needs to be on Trayad, So we made it, and now we are here. I'm fine with that, I think the Trayad is something different, something unique, and that will bring a lot of excitement, for the fight. because I think for us MMA fighters, we can put the boxers on the corner and take advantage of that. But of course, the ring is made of rope, and the boxers, they know how to move well and to use the punching skills, to take advantage of that as well. It's so great. Everything what I see is great things.
I saw some pictures with Guillermo Rigondo, the Cuban boxing legend, but do you have some elite heavyweight boxers that you are training with? I know that you're preparing with Cuban coach Pedro Diaz, who is also a coach of Filip Hrgovic. Do you have some top-level heavyweight boxers that you are training with now?
Yeah, we're training over there with Coach Pedro, and we have been having some good times at the gym, and like you said, there's some top guys over there, and I'm asking for advices for them the whole time, So we are doing some good training over there. I don't know if I can mention the names, but the most important is we are getting very well prepared for this. And also I'm doing a little bit of the grappling part here in American Top Team still, so because that's part of the fight. We gotta be ready for that as well, So I think it's gonna be a very important part of the fight. So I'm getting prepared for that too. And things are going good. I can tell you, I'm feeling good. And after all this, I took 1 year after I came out of the UFC. I took 1 year, enjoying my family, thinking, about my next step, because my next step would have to be a very important one. It needs to be a very important one. And now we figured out the next step, and I'm happy with that. And I kind of having the happiness of doing what I love to do back to me. So it's the most important.
Frank Mir, he wasn't so competitive to Kubrat Pulев when they fought. Why do you think you've got more chances against 2 times world heavyweight boxing title contender?
Well, Frank Mir is a grappler. His main thing is grappling. He was an MMA fighter. Of course, he got pretty good striking skills as well. But I think it's not enough to go there and face someone who did that, have been doing this forever, for their whole life, like Kubrat Pulев. He's on this business for so long, he has a lot of experience. So to go there and have chances against him, you gotta know what you're doing. And I believe I know what I'm doing. Like I said before, in the MMA world, I was always known as a boxing guy, because I was always looking to that knockout, to knock my opponents out and use my abilities, to throw punches, to move around with my speed, my agility. So I think if there's someone in the MMA world that can beat Kubrat Pulев, this is Junior dos Santos, and that's why it's happening.
Wow, very interesting. And what do you think of Kubrat Pulev's qualities? Where do you see his weak sides of the game, especially in Trayad Kombat rules?
Yeah, it's hard to say that. Like I said, he's a very experienced fighter. He's tough as hell, as we all can see. He punches very hard. And he likes fighting. We can see that he enjoys being in the ring and fighting. Punching people and getting punched as well. So it's a kind of myself. It's not on the same direction, let's say, but I enjoy being who I am and doing what I love to do, which is fighting. Yeah, I think I have everything what it takes, to go there and give Kubrat Pulев a very hard moments in that ring, And I see. I'm not really thinking too much about his weaknesses. I'm looking to his where the parts where he is most strong, so then I can avoid that and take advantage of that as well. So like I said, he has been an amazing career, in boxing, but Triad is a little different. So that's why I think it's gonna be a very good fight.
As you mentioned, you were known with your boxing in mixed martial arts, and you started to train boxing pretty late, around 2021. Why you select MMA instead of going as a pro boxer?
Yeah, I started my whole career, my training, my first jiu-jitsu training, it was with 21 years old. My first boxing training was with 22 years old, after I did my first MMA fight. So then I started training boxing with Coach Doria there in Brazil. And I started training boxing every day. Jiu-jitsu, I was doing 3 times per week, and boxing every day. So I think that's why I became like more boxing guy, and boxing is very natural for me. I can go like many rounds when I'm doing boxing or striking. As soon as I start to grapple, then things change a little bit. But yeah, I've been doing this for my whole career. We had some talking about taking my chances on boxing back in the day there when I start, but I would have to go for amateur boxing, which is something that not very profitable, and you have to take some time, to reach a very good position. And then on the other side, we were having MMA opportunities that were paying a lot more money. So as a regular person who is always looking to take some good profits from everything what I do, I went to MMA, and I don't regret. I don't regret on that. I think I had an amazing career on MMA. I love MMA. I love everything what I did in this sport. But there is something deep in the heart, telling me that I got to take my chances on boxing as well. And if I have this opportunity now, I need to enjoy it now, because if not now, never.
Speaking about profit, one of the hottest topics currently, and maybe in the last few years, is the payment of UFC fighters. If you compare the payment in UFC and the payment in Trayad Kombat, what would you say? Because Frank Mir said that his payment was one of the highest of his entire career, and he as well, just like you, he is a former UFC champion.
I cannot be stupid here and say that I wasn't making good money. I was making good money on the UFC, but good money doesn't mean that it's a fair money. We are the show. We fighters are the show, not the UFC, not nobody. We make the show. We have to be very well recognized, for that, paid by that. And I can complain, of my career, like I said, I had. But for you to imagine, that right now I make more money than I did, my last fight.
Really?
So,
Wow.
So yeah, it shows you what kind of type of business they are doing over there. Amazing. The UFC is amazing. It's giving opportunities for a lot of guys. Gave me the opportunity. Still giving a lot of opportunities to tough fighters. And this young generation is coming hungrier. They're coming more prepared. The fights are even. The fights are amazing, but yeah, they gotta pay their athletes a little better, give more attention, give more on the general thing. They have to take care of their athletes a little better. Right now, as an example, right now we have Francis Nganou, which is the scariest heavyweight ever in the UFC. Too much power, a guy that calls attention a lot, and you want to tell me that guy doesn't sell pay-per-views? Come on, everybody wants to watch that guy, and he's making like 500 grand or 600 grand. He just said, I'm not gonna fight anymore for 500 grand, 600 grand. That's what they pay, and he's being the main event, making like millions and millions for the UFC. So, once again, I'm not saying that Dana White and the UFC, they did amazing. They brought our sport to another level. The MMA, they brought the MMA to another level, and made it beautiful and big for the whole world. We are now like famous people and famous fighters, the whole world knows us. But on the other side, they control too much the fighters and their accessibility to everything, even to media, even to sponsors. They took out the sponsors, like athletes they cannot have anymore. Back in the day, I had good sponsors, and at some point I couldn't have sponsors anymore in the UFC, just their sponsors. So it seems like they're a little bit of playing against the fighters, because the fighters are getting too big, maybe, I don't know. But to give you another good example, back in the day, the fighters on Pride and things, they used to make more money than we make now. How is that possible?
Wow.
MMA is so much bigger now, and we gotta be fair. That's the truth.
Speaking of Francis Nganou, his contract is ending this year, and he could be free agent if he loses against Ciryl Gane. First, I would like to ask about your prediction for this fight, because you fought with both guys. And if, of course, Francis Nganou loses that fight, is it possible that he could come in Trayad Kombat and to make a rematch with you in the new rules? So it will be a very nice match. What do you think?
That's what I'm talking about, sir. That's what I'm talking about. I think it's going to be a great fight between him and Gunn. It's different styles. Gunn is a very athletic guy, very, very with great skills, very technical, with not that much power. But on the other side, we have Francis Ngannou, who's pure power. That guy is pure power. I think he's something unique in the fight business. His power is something incredible, and he's taking good advantage of that, winning fights and positioning him as the champion. But yeah, like I said, he's only this is gonna be his last fight on the UFC. And it looks like he doesn't want, like he said, he doesn't want to fight anymore for little money. He wants to fight for more money. And but the thing is, even that being the last fight in the UFC, he's not. If he wins the fight and keep being the champion, he cannot come out. There's a saying on the contract that if you're the champion, you cannot leave the show. So you cannot leave the event. So even just if he loses the fight, then he's gonna be able to go somewhere else, And man, that's how I was saying. Triad is perfect for him. I was thinking about that, and I said, man, that's my rematch right there in front of me. We have my rematch. Francis Ngannou coming to the Triad. Even Tyson Fury, the boxer, he was challenging Francis Ngannou, saying that he wants to fight on the small gloves and things like that on the UFC, and say this is not going to happen. But it's possible to happen on Triad. We can make that happen on Triad. And I also told Tyson Fury he can come to the Triad right now and he can have a fight with me while he's waiting Francis Ngannou to get free from the UFC and come to the Triad too. Can you imagine that? That's a beautiful scenario, and I'm very excited about everything what's possible in this Triad temple of fighting. So man, there's great possibilities for us, and no doubts. Even Tyson Fury or even Francis Ngannou here on Triad, he's gonna find everything what he's looking for.
Nice. Also, you could meet both of them in the pro wrestling ring, as you made the debut at All Elite Wrestling. You have a couple of matches. By the way, we are going to show your fight with Kubrat on Fight Screaming platform. Also, they are showing and broadcasting All Elite Wrestling here in Bulgaria. What is your experience with the professional wrestling, and how was the transition between MMA and professional wrestling? And did you manage to meet Bulgarian Miro, who is fighting in All Elite Wrestling, one of the stars of All Elite, Miro?
Miro, yeah. Well, look, that was a great experience. It's a very exciting world. This pro wrestling world is another amazing. man, I'm a fighter, you know. I love fighting. I love competition, you know, combat competition, you know. So boxing, triad, MMA, pro wrestling. I can do that very well on as I did on the AEW show on the pro wrestling. I think it was a great opportunity for me, you know, to be there with the guys and take those matches. And I'm looking forward to maybe, you know, another important thing is right now in the position I am right now. I feel happy, man, because I'm free. I can do whatever I want to do. I don't need to ask permission or sign a different contract or you know, being kind of locked in a position that nobody allows me to move. If they like in the UFC, if they don't want you to fight, they put you on the corner and you have to wait for 1 year without fighting. You cannot do anything about it. And now it's not like that. I'm free, you know. And if I cannot fight here, I'm gonna fight there. If I cannot fight there, I'm gonna fight somewhere else. You know, it's a beautiful thing, and makes me very, very excited, you know, about it.
You seem very happy by this freedom. And one last question from me. There is huge Bulgarian gypsy community, and your nickname is Cigano, which is the Portuguese word for gypsy. So there is a gypsy king, Tyson Fury. But would you like to be, for example, Gypsy Knight or something like that, that is going to slay down Kubrat Pulев? Do you imagine yourself being like a role model for all the gypsies in the world?
I already am. You know, I've been this nickname I bring with me since the beginning. You know, and they start calling me. Even when I was training jiu-jitsu, gi jiu-jitsu. You know, with gi, only with gi, they started calling me Cigano, which is gypsy. And I said, no, find another nickname for me. I don't like that one. But after some time, you know, they were just calling me gypsy. So I said, okay. So I like that. I'm gypsy now. And after some time of my career, like after I got some good fights, and the gypsies community, they called me and said how proud they were that I was bringing their name, the name of their community to the whole world, you know, and how proud they were about what I was doing with being representing a Cigano, you know. So I was so happy about that, man. And I'm proud to be in this position where I am, you know, to carry this nickname with me. I'm not a real gypsy, but I feel like one already.
Okay. One last thing, really. You fought with Blagoy Ivanov in 2018. It was your last winning run. You made 3 fights in a row, winning them, and first one was with Blagoy. How do you rate his chances? You know him very well, as you did full match with him. The fight went to the judges' decision. How do you rate his chances to go for a world title at UFC? What do you think?
Well, Blagoy is a very tough guy, one of the toughest guy I ever fought in the UFC. You know, I was hitting him very hard, you know, during the whole fight with the small gloves, and he was taking the shots and still walking forward, looking to the fight. He's the type of fighter that I admire watching the fights. He's a great fighter, tough guy, you know. And why not? There's opportunity. Fight is fight, man. You never know. Everything's possible to happen. As in nothing in this life is impossible. As soon as you believe in yourself and you put in the hard work and you put on dedication to reach your goals, everything is possible. And I think Blagoy is a great guy, and no doubts he's one of the guys that he can be fighting for the title one day.
Junior, huge thanks for your time from all the Bulgarian fight fans community. I wish that you are going to make amazing fight with Kubrat Pulев, and it was a great honor to speak with such a legend like you.
Oh, thank you very much. It was my pleasure to be talking with you guys. One day I wanna be going to to Bulgaria, so then I can know a little bit more of your place. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to beat Kubrat Pulев on February 26th. Let's go.